Back. Modern love is breaking faster than ever. Not because people don't want love, but because they don't understand what keeps it alive. We swipe for connection. We crave the spark. But when the excitement fades, back. So does the commitment. Love doesn't fail because it's impossible. It fails because we confuse feelings with choices, expectations with effort, and attraction with alignment. Back. If you've ever wondered why relationships fall apart and how to build one that actually lasts, listen closely, because this might change the way you see love forever. Welcome to Connected Souls. I'm Leila Hormozi, here to help you heal, grow, and thrive in love. Love is often misunderstood as an endless wave of emotions that should always feel effortless and exciting, yet the truth is far deeper than fleeting feelings. Many relationships fall apart because people believe that the presence of passion is enough to sustain connection over time. In reality, the spark that ignites love is not the same force that keeps it alive when challenges arise. What sustains love is the conscious decision to remain committed when circumstances are less than perfect. Choosing to love even when it is inconvenient becomes the strongest foundation for a lasting bond. Feelings will come and go, sometimes intense, sometimes absent, but a decision made daily is unshakable. Love is a practice, not an accident, and it is nurtured through action more than through sensation. Modern relationships fail because they confuse intensity with endurance. To understand true love is to understand that choice always outlasts emotion. When people tie their relationships only to the highs of emotion, they are easily disillusioned when the energy shifts. They assume that the fading of initial excitement means love is gone, when in fact it only signals the need for deeper investment. Feelings naturally fluctuate because life itself is not static. Stress, fatigue, and external pressures all shape our emotional states. When partners anchor their love only to feelings, they create fragility in the relationship. A minor disagreement or a dull season can suddenly feel like the end. But when love is rooted in the commitment to choose each other every day, storms cannot shake the bond. True strength is found in the promise that says, I will stay, I will work it back, and I will show up even when the glow is dim. Modern love struggles because it forgets that endurance requires something more permanent than emotion. That permanence is built on conscious and continuous choice. Everyday acts of love reveal the truth about commitment far more than grand declarations. A kind word offered during stress, patience when irritation rises, or showing up when it's inconvenient are choices that hold far more weight than feelings. These small, consistent decisions are what build trust and security over time. Feelings may inspire gestures in the beginning, but choice sustains them in the long run. When love is a choice, it is less about waiting to feel inspired and more about taking responsibility to nurture the bond. Modern love often fails because people think that love should be effortless, but every lasting relationship requires deliberate effort. Commitment is tested not in moments of ease, but in moments of struggle. Choosing to love when it is difficult transforms the relationship into something enduring. Without this daily decision, passion becomes temporary and connection fades. Another reason many relationships falter is because individuals confuse desire with devotion. Desire may come naturally, sparked by attraction and novelty, but devotion must be cultivated through intentional action. If love is left to desire alone, it will eventually wither as circumstances change. The choice to remain devoted ensures that the relationship grows deeper instead of weaker. Modern love often fails because people expect it to feel the same forever without nurturing it through conscious choices. They want permanence without responsibility, forgetting that anything of value requires care. Just as a plant needs consistent watering, love needs consistent effort. The choice to invest creates a safe space where emotions can thrive without fear of abandonment. Without this foundation, love is fragile, vulnerable to every passing storm. With it, however, it becomes resilient, able to endure even the hardest seasons. People today often mistake falling in love as the peak, when in reality, it is only the beginning of a much longer journey. Falling in love is easy. It requires no effort, no discipline, no sacrifice. But staying in love demands a daily decision to nurture, protect, and grow the bond. This is why so many relationships collapse after the initial intensity fades. They were built on a momentary feeling rather than an intentional commitment. Love that lasts is built on the promise of choice, a vow to show up with consistency regardless of changing emotions. It is in the ordinary moments, sharing meals, handling responsibilities, facing hardships that love proves its strength. Every day presents the opportunity to either withdraw or reinvest. Those who choose reinvestment create relationships that last beyond temporary emotions. The ones who rely only on feelings eventually discover that passion alone cannot sustain them. The culture of instant gratification further weakens modern love, convincing people that if something feels hard, it must not be right. Relationships are abandoned quickly because discomfort is mistaken for failure. Yet every meaningful relationship requires moments of discomfort and growth. Love thrives when two people make the choice to stay and work through challenges rather than run from them. This resilience cannot exist if love is seen as only a feeling, because feelings vanish under pressure. Choice, however, becomes a compass that guides through every storm. Commitment means deciding that the relationship is worth the struggle, worth the effort, worth the time. In this way, love becomes stronger each time it is tested. Relationships fail when people quit at the first sign of difficulty. They succeed when love is chosen again and again, even when it is hard. But another layer of this truth is understanding that choice brings stability where feelings bring volatility. Emotions rise and fall like tides, unpredictable and uncontrollable. But the decision to love can be steady, unwavering, and rooted in discipline. This steadiness creates security, which allows both partners to feel safe in vulnerability. When people know they are loved by choice, not just by feeling, they find confidence to be authentic without fear of abandonment. This is where intimacy deepens, not in fleeting passion, but in enduring stability. Love without choice is unstable, always at risk of ending when emotions shift. Love built on choice becomes a fortress, weathering storms without breaking apart. Stability is not glamorous, but it is the soil in which lasting love grows. Without it, relationships remain fragile and uncertain. With it, they gain depth, trust, and true endurance. The beauty of choosing love lies in the freedom it gives. It is not forced, not accidental, but a conscious act of devotion. This choice transforms love from something temporary into something intentional and lasting. In moments of weakness, it is the choice that pulls partners back to each other. In moments of joy, is the choice that celebrates and protects the bond. Modern love often misses this depth because it chases emotions instead of cultivating decisions. The practice of choosing love creates habits of kindness, patience, and forgiveness that strengthen the relationship daily. These habits do not form overnight. They require consistent effort, much like training any skill. But once they take root, they create a foundation that emotions alone cannot provide. True love is not the absence of struggle. It is the decision to keep showing up despite the struggle. When two people embrace love as a choice, they create a powerful partnership that can withstand the inevitable challenges of life. They understand that love is not about perfection, but about persistence. They know that emotions are important, but they are not the anchor. Instead, the anchor is the daily decision to stay committed, to keep investing, and to keep growing together. This shift in perspective transforms relationships from fragile to resilient. It eliminates the fear that love might vanish overnight because it is no longer tied only to feeling. It becomes something far stronger, rooted in conscious intention. Modern love often fails because it neglects this truth, but when choice becomes the center, love becomes unbreakable. This is not about grand gestures, but about simple daily actions. Love is built, not found, and it is chosen again and again with every passing day. Many relationships struggle today because expectations have replaced genuine effort. Take it back. People often enter love with a list of what they want to receive, but rarely with a mindset of what they are willing to give. When one waits for love to constantly meet their desires without contribution, imbalance begins to grow. Relationships demand reciprocity, and when one side takes more than they give, the connection weakens. Modern culture promotes the idea of effortless happiness, but real love is far from effortless. It requires work, patience, and compromise that many are unwilling to embrace. Expectation without contribution creates entitlement, which corrodes even the strongest bonds. Every relationship eventually reveals whether both partners are invested or only one is carrying the weight. Love thrives not on what one demands, but on what both are willing to pour in daily. Without effort, love withers no matter how strong it once felt. The early stages of love often feel easy because emotions run high, but true tests arrive when comfort replaces novelty. This is when many start expecting their partner to carry the entire load of connection. They want the same passion, the same excitement, but they don't bring the same energy they did at the beginning. Instead, they begin to assume their partner should keep the fire alive while they wait to be entertained. Over time, this passive approach creates distance, leaving one partner drained and the other resentful. Effort cannot be one-sided if a relationship is to flourish. Both must choose to contribute actively, whether through affection, understanding, or shared responsibility. Take it back. Love weakens when one gives endlessly while the other only consumes. Modern love fails when people see relationships as a source of endless supply without realizing they are meant to contribute as well. Balance is the foundation of endurance. Another destructive force in love today is the search for perfection. Many people walk into relationships with idealized images of how things should be, rather than embracing the reality of who their partner truly is. When expectations are unrealistic, disappointment becomes inevitable. Instead of appreciating the effort made, individuals focus only on what is missing, overlooking the value of what they already have. This obsession with perfection leaves little room for patience, forgiveness, or growth. Every relationship requires acceptance not of flaws that harm, but of imperfections that are part of being human. Love weakens when expectations are inflated beyond what anyone can reasonably give. The strongest bonds are not built on perfect conditions, but on resilience in imperfect circumstances. Modern love often fails because people chase fantasies rather than investing in the reality of commitment. Perfection is an illusion. Effort is the truth that sustains love. Entitlement has become another silent destroyer of relationships. People are conditioned to believe that love should revolve around their happiness, their comfort, and their needs above all else. But when both enter with this mindset, no one is truly giving. Love becomes a battlefield of unmet demands instead of a partnership of mutual care. Entitlement blocks gratitude, replacing appreciation with constant dissatisfaction. Instead of celebrating what their partner brings, individuals focus on what they lack. The absence of gratitude erodes affection, Back, turning small efforts into invisible gestures. Relationships cannot survive when both parties expect more than they are willing to offer. What keeps love alive is humility, the willingness to serve, to listen, back, and to sacrifice without always keeping score. Modern love collapses when entitlement overshadows appreciation. The solution lies in remembering that giving often precedes receiving, and contribution keeps the bond alive. Back. Conflict becomes more destructive when expectations outshine effort. Many people expect smoothness without realizing that friction is part of every lasting relationship. Instead of working through challenges, they walk away, assuming conflict means incompatibility. In reality, the ability to resolve disagreement strengthens connection, but only if both partners are committed to the process. Love weakens when individuals expect harmony without putting in the work to create it. Avoidance or constant blame prevents resolution, leaving wounds unhealed. It is not conflict that destroys love, but the unwillingness to put in the effort required to overcome it. Every challenge is an opportunity to reinforce the relationship if faced with responsibility. Modern love struggles because people want ease but reject the labor that builds true understanding. Choosing effort over escape transforms conflicts into stepping stones. Without this willingness, difficulties quickly dissolve even the deepest affection. The culture of instant gratification magnifies these struggles because it teaches people to replace rather than repair. When love no longer feels exciting or easy, many quickly turn away, searching for someone new instead of investing in growth. This mindset treats relationships like disposable items rather than sacred commitments. Love cannot thrive in a culture where endurance is undervalued and effort is seen as unnecessary. Every bond requires time, patience, and repeated reinvestment to mature. Walking away at the first sign of difficulty prevents the possibility of building something meaningful. The strongest relationships are not the ones without struggles, but the ones where both partners chose effort over abandonment. Love is not meant to be replaced each time it becomes uncomfortable. It is meant to be nurtured until it regains its strength. Modern love fails because effort is often abandoned too soon. Mutual accountability is another element missing in many relationships today. People often point fingers at their partner's shortcomings without reflecting on their own role in the conflict. They hold expectations for change but resist adjusting themselves. Accountability requires humility, the courage to admit faults, and the willingness to improve. Relationships are not about one person changing to meet the other's needs, but about both evolving to sustain the bond. Without accountability, resentment festers because one feels burdened with all the responsibility. Modern love fails when both people refuse to examine themselves, instead expecting change only from the other side. Growth happens when accountability becomes mutual, creating a culture of shared responsibility. A strong relationship is built when both are willing to ask, "What more can I do?" instead of only asking, "What more can I get?" This mindset fosters resilience and renewal. Effort is not always about grand gestures, but about consistency in the small things. A thoughtful message, a helping hand, or a moment of presence can carry more power than expensive gifts or dramatic promises. Love often weakens not because of the absence of big gestures, but because of the neglect of everyday acts. Consistency in effort signals reliability, and reliability builds trust. Trust cannot survive if one constantly feels neglected or unprioritized. Modern love fails when people forget that it is the daily investment not the occasional display, that sustains intimacy. Choosing to consistently show care strengthens the foundation upon which passion and connection thrive. Relationships flourish when small actions are repeated with sincerity over time. What may seem insignificant becomes the very glue that keeps love from falling apart. The effort invested daily matters more than the feelings that come and go. When two people commit to effort over entitlement, their relationship takes on a different form. It becomes less about constant expectations and more about partnership, less about blame and more about accountability. They no longer wait for the other to change, but focus on how they themselves can contribute to the bond. This shared effort creates balance, security, and a deep sense of trust. Love then evolves beyond the fragile stage of early emotions and becomes a steady force in their lives. Modern love often fails because people forget that effort is not a burden, but the very essence of love itself. When individuals embrace this truth, they build connections that endure the passing of time. Without effort, relationships remain shallow and short-lived. With effort, they become resilient, meaningful, and unshakable. This is the choice that defines the difference between failure and fulfillment. Attraction may ignite the spark of love, but it is not enough to sustain it when life begins to test the bond. Many relationships start with passion but collapse when there is no deeper alignment guiding the journey. Shared values and vision form the backbone of lasting love. Yet modern connections often skip this foundation in favor of surface-level chemistry. Without a clear sense of direction together, relationships drift aimlessly and become vulnerable to conflict or disconnection. True intimacy is built when two people share principles that guide their actions and choices. Values like honesty, loyalty, respect, and growth provide the compass that keeps them moving forward in the same direction. But when these are absent, attraction alone cannot hold them together. What begins as exciting eventually becomes unstable without something deeper. Lasting love is built not on sparks, but on shared meaning. Back. The challenge with many modern relationships is that people prioritize instant attraction over long-term compatibility. Back. They focus on how someone makes them feel in the moment rather than considering whether they share the same vision of life. While chemistry creates excitement, it does not answer questions of trust, responsibility, or purpose. If two individuals want entirely different things from life, no amount of attraction can bridge that divide. Love requires alignment in how both see the future, whether in lifestyle, priorities, or values. Without this, each partner will eventually pull in opposite directions, creating friction and distance. Shared goals do not eliminate challenges, but they give couples a reason to endure them together. That modern love fails because too often it is built on attraction alone, ignoring the importance of shared vision. Real strength comes from being aligned in purpose. That growth is another cornerstone often overlooked in relationships. When one or both partners stop evolving, love begins to stagnate. Life constantly changes, and without growth, the relationship cannot adapt to new challenges. Couples who commit to growing individually and together create resilience in their bond. Growth ensures that love does not remain stuck in the past, but continues to deepen over time. It is about supporting each other's dreams, pushing each other to improve, and celebrating progress as a team. Without this commitment to evolve, relationships fall apart when life moves forward but the bond remains stagnant. Growth is not optional. It is the fuel that keeps love alive beyond the honeymoon stage. A relationship that grows together creates security and purpose. Modern love falters when growth is neglected, but it thrives when both partners embrace it wholeheartedly. The presence of shared values also builds trust, which becomes the anchor during difficult times. When both individuals know they operate by the same principles, they feel secure even when disagreements arise. Values create boundaries for behavior and ensure that love is guided by respect rather than impulse. Without shared values, trust is fragile and easily broken by misunderstandings or betrayals. Trust is not built on promises alone, but on consistent actions rooted in integrity. Two people who honor similar values naturally create a safe environment where love can flourish. This security allows them to be vulnerable without fear of exploitation. Modern love often struggles because it overlooks the importance of trust grounded in shared principles. Attraction may open the door, but values keep it open. The strength of love lies in alignment that extends beyond emotion. A shared vision is equally important because it provides direction. Relationships without vision often collapse under the weight of uncertainty. When two people lack a common purpose, they may grow in different directions and eventually feel disconnected. Vision is what unites partners in building something greater than themselves, whether it is family, career, service, or a shared lifestyle. It gives meaning to the sacrifices and struggles along the way. Without it, love feels aimless and fragile. When partners build a vision together, every challenge becomes part of the journey toward that goal. They are no longer just individuals coexisting, but a team creating something intentional. This shared purpose transforms love from something temporary into something enduring. Modern love fails when vision is absent, but it thrives when two people build their lives in harmony. Vision makes love sustainable and powerful. Modern distractions also play a role in weakening love when values and growth are absent. In a world full of noise, it is easy to be pulled away from meaningful connection. Many people chase excitement outside the relationship when they feel bored, rather than deepening the bond within. But when couples share strong values and a commitment to growth, distractions lose their power. They know that their love is grounded in something deeper than fleeting thrills. Instead of seeking fulfillment elsewhere, they reinvest in their bond and grow stronger. This creates resilience in a culture that often promotes short-term pleasure over long-term fulfillment. Shared values act as a shield, protecting love from the temptations of instant gratification. Without them, relationships are left vulnerable to disconnection. With them, love endures despite the challenges of a fast-paced world. Emotional alignment also becomes stronger when values and growth are present. People feel closer when they share the same principles because it fosters understanding without constant explanation. Arguments become easier to resolve when both are guided by similar beliefs about respect, responsibility, and care. This harmony does not mean there will never be conflict, but it ensures that conflict does not destroy the foundation. Love becomes more about unity than division. Emotional intimacy grows because both partners feel seen, understood, and supported. This creates a sense of belonging that cannot be achieved through attraction alone. Modern love often fails because it pursues intensity rather than alignment. But alignment fosters intimacy that continues to deepen even when passion fluctuates. True closeness grows in the soil of shared beliefs and values. Without it, even strong emotions eventually fade. When love lacks shared values, it often becomes transactional. One partner gives only to receive while the other measures effort against reward. This kind of dynamic weakens the bond because it reduces love to a series of exchanges. But when love is rooted in shared values, the motivation to give comes naturally. Partners support each other not because of what they will gain, but because it aligns with who they are. This selfless giving builds bonds that last through difficulty. Love becomes less about keeping score and more about building together. Shared values transform relationships into spaces of abundance rather than scarcity. Modern love fails when it is reduced to negotiation instead of partnership. But when both live by values that encourage generosity and integrity, love flourishes. True strength in relationships is found when giving is as natural as receiving. Lasting love is never the product of chance, but of conscious alignment. Attraction may bring two people together back, but shared values and growth are what keep them united for the long journey. When couples prioritize compatibility in vision, principles, and purpose, they build bonds that endure beyond the highs and lows of emotion. Growth ensures that love evolves with time, keeping the connection fresh and resilient. Without these foundations, modern relationships collapse under the weight of unmet expectations or distractions. With them, they become powerful partnerships capable of withstanding life's storms. Love is not just about passion, but about building together intentionally. Modern love fails when depth is ignored, but it thrives when built on alignment. In the end, the secret to lasting love is not in the spark that starts it, but in the shared values and growth that sustain it. If this touched your heart, don't forget to subscribe and join our soul family.